Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartel in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we go to the east side of Youngstown with the head girls basketball coach, the AD, the girl of many hats, the woman of many hats, Miss Tanisha Franklin. Coach, AD, how we doing today?
I'm good. How about you? Thanks for asking.
Not too bad, not too bad. Getting through as many of these basketball interviews as we can preseason, and yours is a team I'm really excited to talk about because I feel like last year, regardless of what's coming back, regardless of what was lost, it's a great foundation you're going forward for this team. And I know you've put so much time, so much effort into this team. A winning record from last year, it has to feel great going into this year for you in this program. What are some of your takeaways though from last year going into this year?
Oh, our takeaways was obviously we had a strong unit. Our sophomore class have been together. Our freshman class obviously have been together since freshmen, which are now sophomores. So they carry that experience for us. So we're looking forward to that this year. The experience that they have built upon.
How are your practices looking so far, and what are some things jumping out to you as a coach?
Intense. Practice is very intense. I'm not sure if you ever see me coach, but I'm pretty intense over here on that sideline. So practice is intense. Expectations are high. Obviously, like I said, we have 4 returning starters from that previous team, but we lost our general, obviously Samir Cologne, who led us throughout her seasons here. So we're just looking to continue and where we left off last year and continue hopefully to have a winning season this year.
Looking at your conference slate, I know there are so many games from last year that you probably wish you had back. One score games that just didn't go your way. There's so many girls I know on this team that are probably hungry to get back into conference play this year. Talk to me about how you see yourselves faring in the conference and what it's going to take from your girls to see your team on top of that Steel Valley Conference.
Our conference is pretty strong. Obviously with Urson and Mooney and Cheney in that conference. Being in the Steel Valley, we haven't won a Steel Valley championship since 2007 was my last year. I won when I was at Rand prior to it closing. So it's a goal of ours, obviously. We look forward to competing in our conference. Couple of nail biters, obviously, against Mooney. So our girls are really looking forward to hosting and playing against Mooney this year.
What are some of the non-conference games you're excited to have your girls test themselves out against as it starts building itself here?
Liberty always have a good program. We look forward to that rival because it's only like 15 minutes away from us, obviously. Hubbard, we got Hubbard back on our schedule this year. I mean, that's a backyard rival, so we look forward to that as well. But we always enjoy playing them competitive teams like Highland, those teams that are on our schedule, because it kind of sets the standard as to where we are at direction-wise, and where we need to go as far as the season as it progresses.
You talk about the standard too, and you talk about the intensity of practices. What is your standard if you want minutes on this girls' basketball team? What is your expectations going into these practices from these girls if they want to earn those minutes?
Oh, hard work. I always tell my kids at the beginning of the season, preseason coming into the season, if they make that team that, they determine their playing time. We don't. So, you're expected to play hard. And if you aren't doing that, and if you're not playing, then that accountability is back on you. Yes, we expect them to play hard and aggressive.
When you look at this team this year, too, from last year going into this year, what is it going to take for you guys to replicate what you saw last year, too? I mean, you mentioned the hard work from the players, but what are you guys going to need to do as a team to see yourselves with another winning record this year?
Just to continue to play as a team, continue to believe in each other night in and night out, regardless if we having a good game or a bad game, your teammate, just continuously praising them, pulling them up, because we all know, once you have that support and somebody that's cheering you on, it can go a long way. So just overall, just continue to work together as a team.
I know that the East fans are huge supporters. We get messages all the time too of if East games are on, the family runs deep with this. Yeah. What are some of the names they should look out for on this girls basketball team this year that are going to be making an impact for you guys?
Oh man, we got Alyssa Crankfield, who's returning from last year, obviously one of our leading scorers. Janiqua Clay. We're looking for Jay to run that point guard position for us. As stated, she had a good leader in Samira as playing behind her. Brianna Wright, who's worked on her game all summer. And we have an addition with Taylor Perkins. Taylor Perkins is probably the most athletic player on our team. So we're looking for her contribution to be huge for us.
I know losing a point guard is always tough to try to bounce back from, but I gotta figure you see some silver lining in having that full year for Jay to sit under Samir and just kind of learn the position.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you know, at some point the student becomes a teacher, right? And it's always good to have a good mentor in place for you to kind of guide through. But she's been doing phenomenal. She stepped up in summer camp for us. So I'm not, worried or anything with her leading our office. She's definitely ready.
I love what you do over there with this program because I mean, like I said at the top of the interview, athletic director on top of it too. You're a great example of I feel like if you show some care and love to a program, anything is possible for sure. Where do you
Absolutely.
find the time and give us kind of like the secrets to how you were able to get this program that let's be honest, they were going through their struggles, but they needed that skipper. They needed someone to kind of take the bull by the horns. You were able to do that and get this team a winning record last year. How were you able to do it?
With anything, right? You got a passion, you got a love for something. Anything you love, you water, it grows. So it's just my time and dedication that puts into it. I myself wants to be successful, right? I'm one of those coaches that's not going out there just coaching to be coaching, right? I take pride in what I do, and I have a love for the game of basketball. So your team, clearly reflects the leadership of the person that's leading them, and it's just who I am, right? So it's just hard work. It's a lot of sacrifice, right? It's a lot of organization, obviously playing both roles, making sure I'm taking care of the responsibility of an AD during the day. But once that afternoon session comes, I turn into coach, and that's where my pride and my dedication and my focus is at. So it's a tough job. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm here multiple hours, about 16 hours a day, but obviously seeing the growth in our program, the respect in our program, the pride that the community is taking in our program, obviously it's worth it.
You know as well as I do, though, Coach, as great as you have been and what you've been able to dedicate time wise to the program, well, you're only as great as the people you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
What's the coaching staff look like this year? Shout them out.
My coaching staff is made up of all my friends, right? So, like you said, you're only gonna keep people around you. Obviously, the people that trust in you, that believe in you, that supports you 1,000%. Regardless of if you having a good year or bad year. So, my good friend of 20 years, Tiffany Ellis, is with me. Another good friend, Monica Perkins, who's been my best friend for the last 23 years, and Cheryl Green, who played for me actually at the Rand High School, won that district title with me, that Still Valley Conference when we came out, right? So, I've been a mentor to her since she played for me. So she's been phenomenal. My coaching staff is phenomenal. And we look forward to every year.
When you talk about this year, and I mean in terms of just the success you had from last year and just trying to carry it over into this year, what are some of the things now that I guess the brand of East basketball does it stay the same from last year? Do you tweak some things going into this year? What's kind of the brand of East basketball we can expect to see from this year?
Oh, our brand is and our model is always going to remain the same as it's been, obviously with me at the helm and in this head coaching seat. So nothing much has changed. We have done a phenomenal job with changing in the narrative and obviously getting some respect in this women's game of basketball. So nothing has changed.
Now, Coach, the one thing I've been asking a lot of the head coaches, and it's been a running theme through all coaches, and you already mentioned it in the interview, the love for the sport of basketball, because it's what brings us all together each and every year, whether we're on the court, whether we're on the sideline, whether we're in the press box, no matter where it is, it's bringing us all together. I know for sure my favorite sport, I love it to death. Where did your love for the sport of basketball begin? Do you have a pinpoint moment, a time period? Where did you first find yourself loving or falling in love with the sport?
Oh, I'll probably say probably about sixth, seventh grade, right? I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in Westlake Projects, which is now Arlington Heights. So, with a lot of violence played in our community, that was the outlet. That was the thing to do. So my friends and I obviously would go to the park and, shoot around and play. I didn't pick up a basketball, well, play organized basketball, I should say, till eighth grade. And I fell in love with the game of basketball in eighth grade. I had an amazing high school basketball coach, Holly Simons, who nurtured me, took me under a wing, and I'm forever grateful for her for that. But yeah, basketball has been such a huge part of my life, obviously make me into the person that I am today. So I'm forever grateful for it.
For all the great basketball minds that kind of help shape you to who you are today, is there kind of like something impactful, a quote or something a coach kind of they told you that you kind of hold close to your vest when you coach now?
Absolutely. Pat Summit, her famous words, your players don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. right? And it holds true. You know, them kids know that you love them, and you genuinely care for them. They'll do anything for you, and that has been part of the success of my program, with obviously building those relationships and let my girls know that I love them.
Well, Coach, we here at YSM, we love what you're doing with the program. We're so excited to see what this East program's able to do again this year. I know you and I will probably cross paths once or twice
Absolutely.
this season. I'll make sure I get a chance to see those girls play this year for sure. But yeah, for sure, Coach, we'll be checking in again with you again sometime this season as we look forward to it. We're rooting for you here
Appreciate
at
it.
the network.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the East Basketball Girls head coach, Tanisha Franklin.